Alrighty. Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I think we have some data coming out. Now it's going to be, I really enjoy this times period particularly because we're able to see a lot of the news as it comes out. We can discuss it compared to talking about it the previous day. And it's kind of nice to watch that, that action come from the beginning or the start of the day. Let's get the chat line going. And we really do enjoy that. It is a good thing there. Let's see now. Where are we starting off from here? You can see the dollar index. The dollar index is lifting. What is that? That's silver. I'm sorry about that. There's the dollar index. It's up into the buy again. It's down a little bit today. Interest rates went up, right? So now things get expensive. They're getting expensive. And obviously the price of the bond dropped because people don't want to buy them because they're not paying as good an interest rate. And so, hey, Robin. And so, what we're at this point in time is you're seeing I guess what you could call it, the kind of, I've heard so many people talk about the data yesterday, and the ones that I follow are showing that inflation is kicking up again. But the ones who want to believe that, like the transitory ones, who just want to keep on saying transitory until literally they get, it hits them in the head, is going the other way at this point in time. And so we could see, like I say it like every other day, whenever inflation comes up or a conversation, we probably have a couple more months of increasing inflation to go on. And then we'll see where it is over the next, going into June, July. We'll see how that goes. But at this point in time, because of the consistent overspending by the government and the lack of growth in the private sector, we're seeing that pressure kick out. And that is exactly what's going on there now. And it doesn't seem to want to go away, because again, they're spending, Mr. Biden in 3 years has spent $7 trillion more than we're taking in. $7 trillion. That's an incredible number. And so, they have to go out and they have to sell bonds, right? They got to get people to buy bonds, and you have to raise the interest rates to get them to buy bonds. It's a very simplistic concept, and it is so hard to believe that people have a hard time appreciating this or accepting it, or I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it just seems crazy to me that they can't understand. Price goes up, and when prices go up, things become more expensive. You would start. How many times have we had to say it here? We show our data, and the way things are trading and so forth, and we go, okay, this is a signal telling us that it wants to go up, and then it goes up, okay, and like something like 8.5 out of 10 times our math will be accurate in telling you when it's going up. Well, when the Bureau of Labor Statistics and everything else shows you numbers that they're going up, and they want to say they're not, not the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but the news and the media and the White House say these things, it's like, wow, am I crazy? Is it me? It's like you start to ask yourself. We saw that in the beginning of Mr. Biden's term. We had 2 quarters of minus growth. That is called a recession. The White House, the Federal Reserve, everybody wanted to pretend it's not really a recession. That's how they kept on telling us over and over and over again. It's not a recession. It's not a recession. It's not a recession. Well, what is it then? If it's 2 quarters of minus GDP, what is it? And so when we talk here, that's why I'm talking here, because in the United States right now, they don't want people. A lot of official organizations do not, that want to report financial information, do not want to hear this. They just don't have an interest in hearing it. As far as they're concerned, just let it be. In other words, don't talk about it, and we don't have to think about it. And when we do say something, just believe us, it's true. And so that's where we kind of stand. It's just is what it is. All right, what do we got going on besides the dollar, as you can see right there? And let's check it out over here, too. Let's see, where is it at? Is it up on here? Let's just go down and check. I guess it is right there, maybe. There we are. And there is the dollar index on our main platform. And you see, let me just go back to the beta. So you can see beta right here. It's trying, closed yesterday in a buy. It's still only reflecting yesterday's number. It hasn't started reflecting today's yet. It's in a weekly sell now for a third week. That pressure's been on. And then we go over to the main platform, and you can see that this is the new front month, because the old one is getting ready to go out the door in another day or two. So it's not the main front contract anymore, but we can show it to you. Where is it at? Right there. There is the old contract. You can see same thing, a couple weeks in a sell, and it's climbed into the buy over the last 24 hours right there. And then you can see the new contract that is now the front month. It's the lead contract right there. And you see that same thing. It's in a buy for the last 2 days there. Oh, we don't even have the green line. Let's put a green line in there. It's in the buy. See right there. We put these lines in there just to help you realize it's above the zero line. Just something simple. And that matter of fact, we should put the sell in there like that. And we'll go back and we'll start putting some back data in it. We'll go to the exchange and collect up the information. So there it is right there. All right, and let me just save that. Save. And then let's take a look at the intraday too, just to see. What is that? There it is right there. You see it's jumped into the sell off of that one right there. And it went down in value just like it's supposed to. When it went into the buy right here, oh, look at that. That was a wild one. So it went into the buy right there. And it failed miserably. And then went into the sell right here and barely sold down, just was down for a bar or two, and then it turned back up and went back into the buy right there. And then it ran up, and then it goes into the sell right here. So just showing you the action, even with it, like there's the sell right there in the intraday. It was in an intraday sell from there all the way out to there. I guess it's there, isn't it? Yeah, there. So that's the action we're seeing in the actual dollar index, which is made up of 6 currencies. First one is 53% of the whole index. Over 50% of the index is the euro against the dollar. The second one is the yen against the dollar. I believe that's 20% or 18%, one or the other. And then the third one is the British pound against the dollar, and that's like 14 or 16%. And then the fourth one is the Canadian dollar. I think that's around 10%, 12%, something like that. And you could add those all together, and you're getting all the way up. And then the last two is the kroner, the Swiss franc against the dollar, and the kroner against the dollar, and they're 4% each. And that's the dollar index, because they're the most active currencies in the world, and so they trade the most volume. And if you're wondering where the Chinese yuan is, the Chinese yuan is around a little under 3% of the world activity, around 2.8. Sometimes it can be, some days it can be 3.2. It can be 2.5. It bounces all over the place like that. So, we just give it a 3. Say it's a 3 at this point. And so that's why it's not in the index, because it's just not. Also, it doesn't float. It's not a floating index. And so in other words, it's fixed to the dollar. All right. From the dollar index, we'll drift over to, let's see where we go. Let's take a look at the euro. And there is the euro. And you can see here, it went into the sell yesterday right there. Let's grab this red right there. I'll just move it over. Went into the sell right there. And now it's trying, you can see it's at minus 0.00005. Just went from 3 to 5. So it's just minus barely. Down on the atomic level, it's minus. And so, it's green and red. It's trying to lift up. It's in a weekly buy now on its second full week. And that is the action we're seeing in the euro. And we'll take a peek at how it's acting in the intraday market. This is always fun to watch both of them working, the daily, the weekly, the intraday, just to show that the math itself has, great dexterity, or it's very accurate. So in other words, when it went into the buy right here in the intraday, it found a way to go up. And then when it went into the sell right here, it did a very poor job trying to get into the going down. Instead, it did the opposite. Went into the buy right here. So you gave up pretty much what you made right there, or as you could say right there, or close to it. You probably might have made a little bit more, but the end result, it went into the buy here, and then obviously it was a winner in the end on that one, and then this was a winner on that one, and we're still in that sell right now, and it's still trying to lift. All right. Matter of fact, I guess we can contract it even further back, because at least it's always fun to look at the day, the way it's, the European hours, and then this is the European hours. Let's just show you where the European hours are. That's why I do this. I just like to see how it acted for the day. Did it act well? Was it happy? How did the Europeans and the rest of the globe take care of it? So you can see there, it went into a buy. This is kind of right around. Let's go like this. Move it over a little bit more. This is right around where the European Open starts, and it goes into an intraday buy. Does a nice job. You can see more wins. There's a good one right there. That might be a little loser, which is okay since you made all that. And then you go into the sell there, and that's a winner. And then this goes into a buy. Does a very poor job. Goes into the sell, another winner. And then another winner, and very small loss or win, one or the other, and then it definitely is a bigger win. That's a bigger win. That's a bigger win. So forth and so on, showing you how it's looking at this point. But nice win there. It's pretty good, entertaining. I find this all entertaining. If someone wants to ask questions about other things, I gladly talk about it. I only do this because I get bored having to generate topic. I can generate topic, and I can talk about the markets and the truth, and you can go back and look at the old videos or the old webinars, of 2 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You can take a look at all of them. You're going to see the accuracy of our rambling, I guess you could say, how Doc just goes off on a tangent here or there. But, at the same time, I need to generate inspiration. I like to generate an inspiration when no one's asking any questions. So I have to find things that'll excite me. And so it's always fun to watch the intraday of this stuff. Always looking, how many market technicians will put live intraday information up there, and you watch it make an accuracy of 8.5 out of 10, or if not 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, and I do it on many products throughout a day, and I do it every day, and it's kind of exciting for me to see that. I get excited. I become incredibly entertained from that, because the level of accuracy, the watching the math do its job. I love watching the math do its job. It's exciting to me. And so you can say, well, maybe you're faking it. It's like, well, then put it up on a live screen next to it and see, who's ticking faster, me or you, that type of thing. Probably most of the time I'm ticking faster. So within a second, let's put it that way. All right, so now from there, we're going to go over to that magical cable. And we're going to put the cable up on the daily and the weekly and give you a broad view of what the cable is doing today. And there it is right there. Yep, right there. There we go. And as you can see, went into the daily buy right there. Then let's steal this red one right there. Went into the sell yesterday like so, and is doing a very poor job of that sell. But we all know here, those who've been watching throughout the months and the years and so forth, you know that when you get a sell and you're in a weekly buy, it's a neutral position. We do not trade it. Okay, now if you're a manufacturer or you're trying to buy something out of England and you need to get the exchange, the currencies, the pairs, you're not just trading, but you're actually trying to maneuver it so that you can buy something, then it's a whole different story. Then you do what you have to do, because obviously on a short-term day-to-day basis, it's showing you there's a little pressure there, and it's going up, and you need to buy British pounds. You better go do it, even with it going into a sell. And it's telling you that you have a good opportunity, because all traders would like to do this. When you have to buy, what do you want it to do? Go down or up? I want it to go down, and so it works out even more in our favor. And then we'll go over to where? We'll go over to the intraday. And you can see all the way back to this morning. Oh, I like it doing that. That's pretty cool. You can see here it went into the buy there, and it went up in value. And you can see it slid into a sell right in there, and then it went back into a buy and went up in value again. And see it slid into a sell right there, so forth and so on. You can see the sell there. You can see some choppiness. Let's see if we widen this so you can see it even better. But I'd like to see it as the, let's see if we do look at this. I like to always see, what's going on there. And you go close enough. You see, in this case here, it goes into the buy here, and it doesn't go into a sell until right there. So it catches that ride, and it gets into a buy there again, and doesn't go into a sell until right there. Not in here, but right there. And that's where the sell is, and then, it gets into a buy right, I think it's right there. There's your buy, and then you see it move up like that, and so forth and so on. If anybody needs to see it closer so you can investigate it or understand it, be my guest. Just tell me, and I'll widen it out even more. All right, and there's also let's give you a spoiler alert in some level. The Great Experiment has made another all-time high. We'll get there soon. From here we go over to the Swiss, but two more charts, and we're going to be looking at the Great Experiment, and that Great Experiment has gone up into the 36 area now. We've been looking for the 37 for the last 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks or something like that. From the 32 area, and we're getting it, unfortunately, for, as they like to say in Gilligan's Island, oh, those poor people. Oh, those poor people. Anyway, watching your currency go from 1 to 36 is not exactly a economically stable thing to see, So, anyhow, let's go over to the Swiss. I like to call them the inflation fighters. They are doing a good job right now battling the inflation and trying to not let it get out of hand. And so let's see what the inflation fighters are doing today. As you can see, it almost slid into the buy yesterday. You see it's a green and a red, and it's doing it now as we speak. At the same time, we've been in the buy since the 85-ish, 86, the high 85, basically low 86 area. And you can see it ran up over the 88 area, and now it's parked underneath at 87.73. It's still up. We went into that cute little daily sell, but we're in a weekly buy, so we just knew the pressure was on the, in other words, actually it was the pressure on the dollar, because when this thing goes down, the dollar is going up in value. So and vice versa. So, no, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. When this is going down, it's gaining against the dollar. It's gaining against the dollar. There are less Swiss saltine or francs needed to buy a dollar. So there's less of them. It means it's cheaper to buy a dollar. So in this case here, with it, basically rising, the Swiss has been losing value against the dollar. And in this case here, where just right here, the slope down says it's gaining against the dollar. And now it's kind of stalled. And we're in that weekly buy anyway, so we're not really expecting a lot of action. We, as I said, the Swiss are doing a fine job of fighting inflation. They don't have stupid ideas like transitory for another 15 months. They jumped out there going into into January and said this is getting too out of hand down in the 83s, and they started to adjust for it, and good for them. And I'm sure that the people of Switzerland are very happy that the government is paying attention to the inflation thing and keeping a good eye on it. And I'm sure that it was fun to pay 83 for the dollar versus 86 or 87 right now, but it's a lot more fun to do it now and then let it hang in the 85s and 86s and 88s and 89s instead of seeing that 101 when we saw no more than over a year ago. It was at 101. That hurts. That's a 10% haircut, as we call it on the trading floors, or the old trading floors at this point. So. From there, we dance our way over to the yen. Saw a strange headline. I didn't even want to share it, but it said something about out of Tokyo this morning about a 5% more increase in the inflation of the Japanese yen against the dollar could really hurt the stock market. Now, I'm not sure how they come up with that one, because we know that the Bank of Japan, owns a major position in their stock market. They're like the U.S. Federal Reserve. They're deeply invested in the equities nowadays. And so, the Federal Reserve, as a matter of fact, there was an article today, which is kind of funny too, is talking about how the Federal Reserve is not neutral, and it is political. So, well, we all know that. We saw, they used a perfect example of what I was just talking about when it came to the inflation. They were saying, wow, we saw where when everybody knew that inflation was taking off, we were saying it here. And, and then for months upon months, a year went by, and we're like, this is ridiculous. We've got inflation, and no one's paying attention. We're up to 6.5%, 7%, and they keep on saying it's transitory. Don't worry about it. And then Mr. Powell got reappointed to the Federal Reserve as chairman. Got another year, another 6 years of his job, and he turned around and then raised interest rates from basically almost zero to 5.25%, the largest interest rate increase in something like a 10-month period ever in America to see our interest rates in percentage term. Because I've seen interest rates go up and down 2 and 3 points a day officially from the Federal Reserve as a young trader. So, when we were fighting the inflation from the Jimmy Carter years, Mr. Volcker, made moves like, we walked on the trading floor one day and it was down 2% for the day. Things like that. After he'd finally taken them all up, he, to start fighting the inflation, he started slowly leaking them down. I remember they got up to around 21%. We had inflation we looked like Turkey for a little while there during the Jimmy Carter years. And, and then from there it kind of, Mr. Volcker and Mr. Reagan came in 81, and things calmed down, and the inflation fight became stronger and stronger, and no more like I don't know what to do type stuff. And sure enough, we saw the great bond rally of the 1980s and 90s going into 2000, to the point where interest rates went minus by 2010 or something like that. 2009, we saw interest rates go to zero. Fantastic rally, historic in nature. It's definitely historic, that's for sure. All right, so there is the yen. Now let's take a look at it on an intraday basis and see what they're doing with Mr. Yen right there. And there is the buy right there. I think that's the one. Is it that? No, it's got to be 1, 2, 3. So it's the third one. So the buy started there on the intraday right there to close. And obviously it went up more up than it went down. That's for sure. And then right here is the sell. and that lasted all the way to here, from there to there, and it went back into the buy. And obviously it went more up than down and made whatever it lost there. And then over here, there's your sell right there, and obviously it went down more. Let's see, where's the buy? The buy went down all the way to here, from there to there in the sell, and then it went into the buy right there. Let's see, two, right? One, two. So it went into the buy right there, and is still in the buy, and it's definitely has tested you. That's no doubt you've been tested, but it's obviously higher. Where's the buy at? Right there. There's the buy, and it's higher now than where it was. So just a thing that makes me happy to make sure that it's make sure that it's working. I like seeing the intraday just so that I know everything's working fine. The math is happy. That's my spin of it all. All right, and then from there, wait a second. I hear something. Hold on, traders, for 1 second. It sounds like somebody's at the door or something. Hold on 1 second. I'll be back in no more than like, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds. Let me just see who's at the door. All right, I'm back, traders. Sorry about that. The exterminator comes to they were supposed to come later on in the day. Sorry about that, traders. We're back. All right, now, where are we at? This is the yen. Oh, what are they doing? They're pushing the yen into the sell? Looks like it is. If it closes right there, we got 8 more ticks. Let's see what it does. 8 more ticks. Tick, 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 tick. 4 more ticks. Yep, there's the sell. And 1 more tick, and it confirms it. There we are. And now it's in a sell, I guess. Maybe it'll come down to the 147.90 area, something like that. I don't know. Maybe it'll go challenge this low, or will be a higher low. That's the fun part about all this, is that it tells us where it's trying to go, and then you try to understand why where it's trying to go. There's 93 to 92. There's 90, 91.9. There's 91.6. Is it going to make a new low? We'll see. There's 90, 92.10 or 92.1. 91.9. Looks like we're going to see another new bar here. This is fun. I find this incredibly entertaining all the time. Solely because it's so accurate. That's usually half the reason right there. I mean, if it wasn't accurate, who would want to watch it? I wouldn't want to watch it, that's for sure. Now look at that. It's trying to press. It's trying. It's still below where it started, but it'll kick around. It'll twist and turn. And that's just the fun of it all, basically. All right. Now we can always come back to this. I want to show you the great experiment. I tried for weeks not to give the projection of where it was going, because I really didn't want to I didn't want to like as if I was doing some type of voodoo or something like that, So let's go over to the great experiment. And I just want to see if they're going to make another low here on this yen thing. This is pretty cool. 147.92, still below where it started to sell. But let's see if it looks like, see how these points are here? It starts to turn up. Same thing here, it starts to turn up. And now this one is a little bit higher. Let's see if this takes one down and breaks this low at least. But I figure there's a support here, and there's definitely support in here. So, well, we can come back to that. Let's show you the great experiment instead. And there is the great experiment, the Turkish lira. We've been watching this thing. Look at that. What a wild spike. Closed, for days now. It keeps on closing, all-time closing prices every day. And it slid into the sell here. Did a very poor job at it. And it's been in that weekly buy now for 25 or 26 weeks. It's been in that weekly buy since the 28s or 29s or something like that, or 27s. And unfortunately, that's where we got the 37 number. Now we've gotten up to 36. That is, I figured, a 1/3 move from the base. So 1/3 move from the base of 28, you got to figure you divide that by 3. 3 divided into 28 is 9. And add 9 to 28. I'll do that again. So, in other words, it's at 28, the 28 base. That's where it's been hanging out. And, we're in a weekly buy, and we went into that weekly buy, and I thought, oh no, don't tell me they're going to do something upside again. And so I thought, okay, you take 28, divide it by 3, which is 9, basically 9 1/4 or change, something like that. And then 9.3 to be exact. And then add on to 28, 9.3, which is 27.3. And for months, almost a month and a half, I refused to say where it was going. But I was really fearful that it was going to find a way to climb to the 37. And sure enough, yesterday it's broken the 36 by a teeny little amount. What is that? The exact number is 36. 06, is that, or 09? I think it's 06. So 36.06. So 94 ticks basically, or 940 ticks away from the all-time, or touching our 37. We'll watch it. We'll see. But unfortunately, it's not very liquid because of its problems and because of the issues and so forth and so on. So, but it is what it is. So from there we go over to the South African rand. And we start to look at the metals complex. The metals complex is very fascinating in that aspect. We watch the South African rand. The rand gives us a great indicator after we figure out the haircut. In other words, we believe the rand is, let's see, it's more expensive than it should be. That's right. So it's overvalued. Overvalued? Undervalued? Undervalued. It's undervalued. So, in other words, when we price, when we price gold to historical numbers to the action in the rand, we realize that, the rand normally would be down in the 13 area at this point. Could be even lower. But unfortunately, right now, it doesn't seem to want to do that. It seems to be doing the opposite of it at this point in time. So what we're doing is we're seeing the South African rand, having those issues with the president. They've never resolved them since last year when they found the $1 million or $500,000 sitting in his sofa in cash. And so he refused to resign. And it's really, you can see it's slowly beating the currency up. Every time you see it, it does something other than what we think it should be doing, especially with the way gold is now over. At one point, it was at 22. I think we went into a daily sell. Let's take a look and see. There's the rand, and you can see the rand again. Now a fourth day, really trapped down in here. See, it's been, where's it been? It went into the sell right there. It slid down. Went into the buy right here, climbed up, and then started zigzagging, pushed into the sell there. And stayed in the sell all the way to right there. It went into the buy on that, and went right back into the sell. So we're not really seeing the what would you call it? The the currency, performing as well as the gold is. So let's take a look at the gold. Let's see. Let me see. There is right there. There's gold. Now gold slid into the sell yesterday. Went down a little bit. Nothing major. It's in the weekly buy. It's had a wonderful run from. We went into the daily buy at like around 2,000. It ran up to 22. It's had a wonderful run. So it's awful hard to want to beat up on it. Let's put it that way. And it should take. Look, if you buy something and you're making money in it, I used to say this all the time to traders. If you buy something and you're making money in it, if you do not take some of it off when you're making money, the next time you're taking it off is when you're losing money. So basically, take a profit. That's what we used to say all the time to everybody. It's like, take a profit. Don't be afraid to take a profit. You don't get in trouble by taking profits. You stay in the game one more day. And so that's where we are with the whole process to begin with at this point. We're looking for people have to take some profits somewhere along the line. I mean, gold has went up, was that 10%? So I mean, with gold running up 10%, you would think people would find a way to take some profits. I mean, at least in my head, that's the way it works. I know other people it doesn't work that way, but it does in my head. So at this point in time, we're just sitting there watching, gold and silver. Silver's doing. Where's silver at? Let's put silver up in there. Silver, I think is it bouncing a little bit too? Let's see. Yeah, silver's trying to do another little bounce. Went into the sell yesterday and zoom back up again, a bargain. And we're in a weekly buy, so you don't want to. You're not trying to take shorts in those things. You're just taking some profits, and not all your profits. Take just some of your profits. That's the way the process is supposed to be. Win and take profits. That's the thing. That's the name of the game. That is the name of the game. And so from there, I guess we can look at the silver, and you see that nice action we're seeing in silver. So we'll go over to the copper and see how the copper is looking. Right there. There's copper. Copper's over $4. I don't know if is that a sign that China is getting its act together? I don't know. I'm always confused how that all plays out in the end. It is definitely, unique. Let's put it that way. The whole process is very unique, at least in my head it is. So now we've got copper and we got silver. We've got gold trying to bounce. And, they'll probably adjust themselves and find a way to get back into whatever buy they want to get back into. And then they'll take a look at the last of the metals. And there's the last of the metals. That's the platinum. And the platinum's been in a buy for a couple of weeks. Went into a weekly buy last week. And so overall, the markets are doing a nice job at trying to perk their heads back up, get back into the game. When it comes to the metal complex, I mean, it's not exactly like it fell out of the game. That's for sure. It's doing a fine job, and I'm not complaining about it at all. All right, traders. If you would like to see anything, please, take me off my course. I'd rather see something you guys want to see compared to something I'm looking at. I'm just roaming through the list, just being mechanical. So from there, we're going to go over to the energy sector. Let's take a look at the energy sector and see what's going on there. What is that? All right. Where is it? Let's see. Right. There's crude oil right there. You see crude oil is trying, was it in the sell? Is that what it was? No. So it's in the buy right now. Is it in the buy? Let's go take a look at that. Let's just take a look at the spreadsheet. Something looks a little fishy there. It's trying to get into the weekly buy, that's for sure. I just want to see what I sent out on the spreadsheet. Let's see. We're in March now, right? Yeah, March. And we'll just take a look and see where we have it on the spreadsheet. And it's are we in March? Yeah, we're in March, and it's the 13th. So there's the 13th, and let's open that puppy up. There we go. And the answer to that question is it spits open. Come on, spreadsheet, spit open. All right, we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and here it comes. All right, so right there, crude oil has been in a cell for 6 days. That's what it is. Okay, so it's been in the cell. What is all that? It's all that choppiness with the bind and back to the cell and buy. Looks like it's more of a buy for 4 days here. So let's take a look and let's go open up what we sent out this morning. I'm not sure what's going on there. Why all of a sudden the chart is all screwy. Okay, yeah, so now how can it be in its cell? I guess we're going to have to take a look. Let's go over to the exchange itself and take a look. And you know what? Let's go over to beta too. Let's go to the beta and check out beta. Sometimes they load data in and it doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I'm always checking all day long. Alright, so there it is. Okay, so there it's been in the cell for a lot of days there now. Okay. Yeah, so it's in the cell. I have it on 6 days in a cell. And that, what is that? Is that wrong? That's wrong. That high is not the right high. And it went into the cell like back in here. Let's see, where'd it go into the cell? Let's go look at it. We're going to show you what it looks like. Something's wrong with a lot of this. The computer restarted in the middle of the night and something looks definitely whacked. That's what we sent out this morning. Look at that. That line is, and I noted, I'm looking at the spreadsheet. Let's see if we can show you the spreadsheet too. Can we show you the spreadsheet? Where is the spreadsheet? How do you get to the spreadsheet? We used to keep that spreadsheet up on the screen years ago. All the time. We're going to have to go look this up and double check it all. I trust the beta more than I trust anything else. And you can see from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 days in a cell trying to go into the buy as we speak. That makes sense. And the spreadsheet says it's 6 days. So we're going to have to rework that. I don't understand what happened there. Something doesn't look right. I'll have to double check that and straighten that out. You hear me, that, Robin? I'm going to have to straighten that one out. Now let's take a look at Brent. There's Brent. Monsieur Baker!
Hey, Murray Rosenberg.
Hey, I'm a monkey. I got about another 9 minutes on the webinar.
Oh, you still do? I'm sorry.
Yeah, bye-bye. And so, let's see. So let's take a look at Brent right there. And we'll worry about the energies. And I'll shift and fix them. That's what I'll have to do. But you can see right there, there's the Brent looking the same way. And it's trying to lift up today. And then let's go to the live. Let's bring this back down like that. Get rid of that. And let's just take a look at the live on the crude. It's acting extremely well. But we have to fix that. You know, Robin? Everything else is all right. But I'm not sure what happened with the crude oil. The computer restarted and did some stuff and collected who knows what data out. We have a power of end up choosing which outputs, like at certain times of the day, like open outcry, electronic market, you know, it's all kinds of goofy things. 5-day, default, oh my God. I have to fight with this thing all the time to get the accurate, and I have to compare it to the exchange to make sure it's accurate on a daily and weekly. That's the chore of it all. All right, so you can see there, live-wise, it's at 79.21. And basically that's Brent right there, but let's go right here and see what they've got at there. You see that same thing basically. See, it's at 79, almost 79.21 as we speak, like right there on the beta. So, oh, you can't see that. Let's just show it to you. There it is right there. Doing the same thing. Right there. Where's that mouse? Come here, mouse. Right there. See? So, that is, remember, this is 15-minute delayed on the beta, so it's 79.34. All right. So from there, we'll go back to the live again. And we'll take a peek and see. There is the natural gas, which has been sliding and not being interfered with. It's down at 1.672. And natural gas over here, I think, is the same. Let's see. Yep, same thing there. You'll be able to see that, like so. And then, what's the next one? What's the next one? No, we'll find it. Next one is that European, or the Spanish energy company. Let's put that up on there. There it is right there. Let's see if it broke the 20. Yes, it's broken the 20 2 days in a row now. Cool. We'll just emphasize that, like that. Oh, I messed that up. Let's try that again. There. Yeah, see that down there, broken the 20. Right there, it's trading at 1969. One of my favorite numbers, 1969. And so you can see, it's been in that weekly sell for 10 weeks. It's that's the energy company, which means that natural gas is cheaper in Europe today than it was weeks ago. Let's put it that way. That's a good thing. Always a good thing. All right. From there, we'll go over, take a look at some of the stock indices. We can go to Europe first if you'd like that. Yeah, I'm going to straighten out the crude oil. We'll have to resend that out. I got to go to the exchanges and take all the data and straighten it out. Good reason for going through the rhythm every day. It's like a double check of our math, making sure it works. And then, where do we go? Now I know this is right, because I looked that up and made sure it was the heating oil. This heating oil is lifting too, and it's been in the buy for 4 days now. And then we can show you heating oil right there. Yep, there it is right there. This is what we sent out. And we're real happy. It looks the same right there. Matter of fact, it's just lifting higher even now. And let's see, what else can we say? Let's move that back down and get rid of it like so, and get rid of that. And then you can see it's got a nice big square box on the weekly. It's trying to climb back up after a couple weeks in the sell. It's been bouncing along. There was a report this morning from Morgan, was it not JP Morgan, the other one, Morgan Stanley. They're looking for $91 oil. So I don't know. That's kind of a little surprising, but not really, I guess you could say. So if they're looking for $91 oil, that makes sense that it's trying to put a bottom in here and trying to find a weekly buy. And I think oil, last we looked, let's go to crude oil. April crude is fighting to get into the weekly buy too. Right there. Alrighty. So from there, we'll go over and take a look at the stock indices. And we'll just do it through the beta. That's always fun. So let's take a look and see what's going on in the beta. Let's see here. Let's start off with, let's see what they did with Nikkei. Let's put that in. There's the Nikkei. You see it's bouncing up a little bit, but it's a very odd story. It's in the daily sell now for 5 days. This is the 5th day now. And you can see the weekly drifting south. We're a day behind on that, so we can't tell if it's lower or not yet. And then from there, we'll go over to the all ordinaries. No, let's do this. Kospi. Let's go right across the bay there and take a look at the Kospi. The Kospi is still climbing, looking very strong. it's doing a fine job. Look at that, just constantly finding ways to make higher lows. It's the Kospi got beat up pretty well, and now it's over the 27 or right at the 2700 area. When China fell, it fell, but then it bottomed. And let's see the Hang Seng. Let's check out the Hang Seng. Where's the Hang Seng? Yeah, the Hang Seng really rolled over, and so did the Kospi. Now the Kospi, bottomed out in January, and this is bottomed out in January, and it's definitely higher at the moment. So it's starting to lift up too. Since they're neighbors, I guess they're very influenced by. It's kind of like when we watch Turkish lira versus Euro Turkish lira versus dollar Turkish lira. You know that the Euro Turkish lira is way more accurate because they're bordering each other. There's the Hang Seng. Okay, from there we'll go over to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong, where are you? There it is. There's Hong Kong, having a lot more problems getting going. You see that part. But maybe that's why we're seeing copper taking off. You can see the stock market taking off. And they keep on saying they're going to stimulate. They're going to do stuff to help it out. They're going to do all that. So that could be part of it right there. All right, this is just a sip of my tea. And then from there, we'll go over to the All Ordinaries. There it is in Australia. Australia's been lifting nice, showing some good strength in there. And you can see we're in that weekly buy now for 10 weeks. Let's see, from there, we'll go over to the Nifty 50. Right there, there's the Nifty 50. A little back and filling, isn't it? Look at that, the last couple of days going with Japan. Starting to inch down a little bit. And the weekly is pushing down this week to get into the sell after a good solid 4 weeks of this move up right there. And then, I forget who TWII. It could be Singapore or Singapore Straits Times or something like that. You see, it's still climbing. It's an Asian product, or a subcontinent, India area type thing. So you see right there, it's trying to, and you can see 10 full weeks in a weekly buy too, and it's been climbing. Now, let's go over to the continent of Europe, and we'll take a look at the DAX. Right there, there's the DAX. Up at all-time highs, weekly buy over 10 weeks, marching along very happily. Same thing with let's see what the CAC 40 in France is doing this today. Same situation at highs of many, many months. We don't know if it's all-time or not. And you can see the same thing here, 10 weeks in a buy. Then the FTSE and the Dow Jones Industrial Average seem to gravitate to each other in natural trading. Woo, not today and yesterday. How about that? Boom, they popped that puppy, just like they did on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Where are you? And also we're looking at 7 weeks in a buy. Now let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average right there, doing the same thing, but not really. Look, it's not taking out these highs here. It's not doing that. Not. And I think that the S&P 500 did. The S&P 500 is at all-time highs. And same thing with the. Now I don't think. Not sure if the Tech 100 did. It's close. You can see it right there. They're all 10 weeks in buys. These markets are very firm. These stocks are very firm. I heard a great story. I'm going to end it right here, and that is, I heard that the money market funds have over $6 trillion sitting in them. $6 trillion. In other words, they're not sure where to invest. So it's basically having it in a savings account. So, all right, traders, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Tomorrow be well.